Good morning, dears. Already we learnt proportion and ratio. What is meant by direct proportion? What is meant by inverse proportion? We did direct proportion and unitary method also. Today, this session, we are going to see what is inverse proportion based on that problems also. Once again, for recalling, I have written this definition and what are the types alone. You know what is meant by proportion? A change in one quantity result a change in other quantity is called a proportion. What is meant by proportion? A change in one quantity results a change in other quantity is called a proportion. We have two types of proportion. One is direct proportion, another one is inverse proportion. I told one more definition also. An equality of two ratios is called a proportion. That also proportion. We have another definition also. A change in one quantity results a change in other quantity is called a proportion. Today we are going to see exercise number 4.2 based on that inverse proportion problems. The first one is given to us. 16 taps can fill a petrol tank in 18 minutes. The time taken for 9 taps to fill the same tank will be how many minutes? So, already you know that inverse proportion, one quantity is decreasing, definitely other quantity it will be increasing, or else one quantity is increasing, other quantity it will be decreasing. Here number of taps is 16, taking time is 18 minutes. What is the time is taken? 18 minutes. But here number of taps is reduced. What is number of taps is reduced? Then definitely it will take more time. So it is a inverse proportion. For the direct proportion, one clue I gave to you, you should write the first two quantities in reverse order. Here we should write as it is given or else in the proper order. So I am writing here 16 by 9. That I know already. I told you the second quantity is a constantly you should write in second way. So into 18. If you are cancelling, you are getting 2. So 16 into 2 you will get 32. So what is the time it's taken for 9 pumps to fill the tank? 9 minutes. What is the time is taken? 9 minutes. Sorry, 32 minutes. Answer is 32 minutes. And the second one, in 40 workers can do a project work in 8 days. Then how many workers can do in 4 days? Now 40 workers can do a project work in 8 days. 40 workers, 8 days. Because why I am written like this? We have to find out number of workers. That's why you take in the second quantity. So number of days is given 4. Now the days are increased. So we need more workers. So it is decreasing. Definitely it will be increasing. We need more workers. It is a inverse proportion. Already now only I told you should write in a proper order. So 8 by 4 into 40. So if you are cancelling here 10. So x equal to 8 into 10. We need 80 workers. Once again I am explaining. If 40 workers can do a project work in 8 days, then how many workers we need to do it in 4 days? So here number of days is decreasing. So we need more workers to do the job. So 8 by 4 into 40. If you are cancelling 10 times, so 8 into 10, 80 workers. Come to the second Roman. If 6 pumps are required to fill a water sump in 1 hour 30 minutes. What will be the time taken to fill the sump if one pump is switched off? What they have done? One pump is switched off. So already we have 6 pumps. That too we have one pump is switched off. So now if you are subtracting, how many pumps we have? 5 pumps. And once again you should be concentrated how it's a reduced now. So it is a decreasing. Now definitely we need more time to take to fill that sump. So now 5 pumps. So how you should find out what is the time. So it is a inverse proportion. X equal to, you should write as it is. So 6 by 5 into 1 hour 30 minutes is given to you. But you know what is 1 hour time? 1 hour equal to 60 minutes. 1 hour is 60 minutes. Then addition to that we have 30 minutes. 1 hour 30 minutes. So what is the total time? 9 minutes. What is the total time? 9 minutes. So instead of 1 hour 30 minutes, I am going to write here 90 minutes. If you are converting minutes only, you should do the calculation. That's why I have converted like this. So 1 hour 30 minutes, 1 hour 30 minutes equal to 90 minutes. Now, it's the inverse proportion, so number of pumps is decreasing, so it will take more time to fill the sum. So, x equal to 6 by 5, as it is you should write. So, 6 by 5 into 90, if you are cancelling 1, 8, 18 6 are 108 minutes. So, if you are converting to hours, that is 108 minutes, 60 minutes is 1 hour. So, 108 minutes equal to 108 minus 60, 48 minutes. So 108 minutes we can write like this, 1 hour 48 minutes, because 1 hour 60 minutes you know. So that's why I am subtracting here 108 minus 60, 48 minutes. So for the 60 minutes I have written here 1 hour, then 48 minutes. Now come to the third Roman. A farmer has enough food for 144 ducks for 28 days. If he sells 32 ducks, how long will the food last? Once again I am reading. A farmer has enough food for 144 ducks for 28 days. For 28 days, for 144 ducks we have enough food. So 144 ducks we have 28 days food. Now if he sells 32 ducks, what he has done? He sold 32 ducks. So now how many ducks he has? So you should subtract 144 minus 32. Totally after selling 32 ducks, he has 112 ducks. For that 112 ducks only, we should find out the food for how many days. So we should find out the food for how many days. So it is a inverse proportion, because number of ducks is decreasing. So definitely the days also increasing. So it is an inverse proportion. As it is, you should write 144 by 122. Here 28. Go for 2 table 72. Here 61. Then go for 7 table. For 7 table 1 time. For that 52. Sorry dear, 112, I have written 122, that's why made mistake. Go for 7 table. If you are cancelling, here 16 times 1 time, 2 table itself if you are going 5 times 56, 72, then again go for 2 table 28, 36, then 28 cancel, so 36 days. For 112 ducks, we have enough food for 36 days. So answer is 36 days. That's a mistake I made. Instead of 112, I have written 122. That's why we are struggling. So now you are cancelling. We are getting 36 days. Now come to the fourth Roman. It takes 60 days for 10 machines to dig a hole. Assuming that all machines work at the same speed, how long will it take 30 machines to dig the same hole? How many machines we have? 10 machines. If we are digging 10 machines, we will complete the work in 60 days. In that, likewise, now you are including 20 more machines. So 30 machines are working, so we can complete the work in less days. So here number of machines is increasing, definitely days it will be decreasing. 10 machines can complete the work in 60 days. Now increasing, 20 machines are increasing. So that is increasing. Definitely if we are working more machines, we can complete the work in less days. So it will be decreasing. It is a inverse proportion. So as it is, it write in a proper order. So 10 by 30 into 60. If you are cancelling 2 times, so 20 days. Answer is 20 days. Number of machines is increasing, so we can complete the work in less days. So it is a inverse proportion. So x equal to, you should write as it is 10 by 30. This is write it always constant a second term. So into 60 if you are cancelling 2. So x equal to 10 into 2, 20 days. Answer is 20 days. Now come to the fifth one. 40 students stay in a hostel. How many students? 40 students stay in a hostel. They had food stock for 30 days. They had food stocks for 30 days. If the students are doubled, then for how many days the stock will last? How many students are staying? 40 students. Number of students, food for number of days. 40 students. How many days we have food? 30 days. What is the second statement is given to us? If the students are doubled. So 40 into 2. How many students? 80. How many students? 80. Because it's given as doubled. So 40 into 2. Now the number of students is increasing. Definitely if the number of students is increasing, we can eat only less number of days the food. So here it will be decreasing. It is an inverse proportion. If we are finding, as it is, you should write 40 by 80 into 30. If you are cancelling 2 40s are 80, you know very well. If you are cancelling 15, so x equal to 15 days. Answer is 15 days, because 40 students stayed in a hostel, that enough food for 30 days. Now the students are doubled, so 80 students. How many days we have enough food? It's increasing. Number of students is increasing. Definitely number of days it will be decreasing. It is a inverse proportion. As it is, you should write x equal to 40 by 80 into 30. If we are cancelling here 2, if 30 by 2 is 15, so we have enough food for 15 days. Come to the sixth problem. Meena had enough money to send 8 parcels, each weighing 500 grams through a courier service. What would be the weight of each parcel if she has to send 40 parcels for the same money? Same money. Now, how many parcels first he is sending? 8 parcels. Now the number of parcels is increasing. Weight in gram, number of parcels is 80, each one is 500 gram. Now they are sending 40 parcels. The number of parcels is increasing, definitely the weight will be less. So here increasing, it will be decreasing, no need to explain. It is an inverse proportion, you know very well. As it is, you write. So 8 by 40 into 500, 0 0 cancel, go for cancellation method. 2 4s are 8, so x equal to 2 into 50, so 100 gram. Once again I am explaining, number of parcels is increasing. For 8 parcels, 500 gram weight. Now the number of parcels is increasing, 40 parcels, definitely weight it will be less. So it is an inverse proportion. As it is, you should write 8 by 40 into 500. Don't forget, as it is, you should write. If you are cancelling 0 0, now for 2 4s are 8, so 2 into 50, x equal to 100 grams. Weight is 100 gram. Now come to the seventh one. He takes 120 minutes to weed a garden with 6 gardeners. How many gardens they are involving? 6 gardeners. They are completing the work in 120 minutes. The same work is to be done in 30 minutes. So if the time is less, the time taken to finish the work is less, definitely if we are involving more gardeners only, we can complete the work. So the seventh one, we should find out a gardener. That's why I am writing in a second quantity number of gardeners. Now time is minutes, time taken in minutes. Here 120 minutes, 6 gardeners. 30 minutes, how many gardeners we need? Here time is decreasing, so we need more gardeners, then only we can complete the work. So it is a inverse proportion. So as it is, you should write 120 by 30 into 6. That is a clue, you don't forget. Keep on, I am saying to you, 0, 0 cancel. If you are cancelling 6 by 3, you will get 2. So 12 into 2, we need 24 gardeners. But you should listen that question once again. How many more gardeners are needed? Already we have 6 gardeners, but how many more? So 24 minus 6. More needed. So 24 minus 6, 18 more gardeners we need. So you should subtract, don't forget to subtract. Now 8th one. Neelaveni goes by bicycle to her school every day. Her average speed is 12 km per hour and she reaches school in 20 minutes. She is maintaining the speed 12 km per hour. She can reach the school at 20 minutes. What is the increase in speed if she reaches the school in 15 minutes? So earlier he should reach the school. You should maintain what is the speed. Definitely you should maintain more speed, more than 12 km. So definitely the time is less, we should increase the speed. 8th one. Time, here given is minutes. Speed, kilometer per hour. What is the time he is taking? 20 minutes. He is maintaining the speed 12 km per hour. Should reach the school 15 minutes. What is the time should? What the speed should increase? So here time is less. So definitely you should increase the speed. It is a inverse proportion. You know how to write. 20 by 15 into 12. Go for 3 table. 4 3s are 12. 5 3s are 25. If you are cancelling here, you are getting 40. So 40 into 4. 4 here 5 times. Sorry dear. 4 5s are 20. So 4 into 4, 16 km per hour. She should maintain 16 km per hour. What is the question they are asking to us? What is the increase in speed? What is the speed she should increase? So increase in speed you should subtract, because already he is maintaining the speed 12 km per hour. So increase in speed 16 minus 12, she should increase 4 km per hour. She should increase 4 km per hour. Come to the 9th one. A toy company requires 36 machines to produce car toys in 54 days. How many machines would be required to produce the same number of car toys in 81 days? They are producing in 54 days 36 machines. Now the time is increasing. They are 81 days they are preparing. What is the machines they can use? Now, ninth one, number of days. Here, number of machines they can produce. Now, 54 days, 36 machines. Now, what is the machines? 81 days. How many machines they can produce? Now, the number of days is increasing. Definitely, the number of machines will be increasing. So, inverse proportion. For preparing the toys, the days is now increasing. So, they need only less number of machines to produce the same number of cars. Number of cars is not less, same only. But they are 54 days, they are 36 machines they are using now, 54 days they can prepare the cars. If now the days is given more, so we need only less number of machines to produce the same number of cars. So it is an inverse proportion, x equal to 54 by 81. Keep on I am saying, you should write in same order. So 54 by 81 into 36. It is a 9 table all the one. So 9 9s are 81, 4 9s are 36. Again go 9 table, 6 9s are 54. 6 into 4 equal to 54 machines. Six fours are 24. 6 fours are 24. So 24 machines we need. Now auxiliary type questions. 10th one, 12 cows can graze a field for 10 days. 20 cows can graze the same field for how many days? Here number of cows, number of days. How many cows? 12 cows, 10 days. So the cows number is increasing. So no need to say it will be decreasing because only same grass only, but that cows are increasing. So it is an inverse proportion. If more cows are grazing the field, that they can eat only less number of days only the grass. So it is an inverse proportion. X equal to 12 by 20 into 10. 0 0 cancel. Go for 2 table. 6 times only 6 days only 20 cows they can eat the grass. So what is that option is given to us? Third option. Come to the 11th problem. The last question for this lesson. A typist are employed to complete a work in 12 days. If 2 more typists are added, they will finish the same work in how many days? Same work only. Now, how many more typists are added to complete the work in how many days? How many typists are added? 2 more typists are added. 11th one, number of typist. Here number of days. Always the days and work is based on that inverse proportion. These problems definitely it's a inverse proportion. 2 more typists they added. So 4 plus 2. How many typists we have now? 6 typists. So how many days we can complete the same work? Definitely less number of days we can complete the same work. It will be inverse proportion. So as it is, you should write 4 by 6 into 12. Go for 6 table. 2 6 are 12. So x equal to 4 into 2. In 8 days, we can complete the same work. We are using more 2 typists if you are adding. So what is the option is given to us? Second option. Given to us second option. Once again I am explaining to you. 4 typists are employed to complete the work in 12 days. Now, if 2 more typists are added, so if you are adding 2 more typists, how many typists we have? 6 typists. Definitely we can complete the work in less number of days. It is increasing, number of days it will be decreasing. It is a inverse proportion. So we can write as it is. So 4 by 6 into 12, go for 6 table. If you are cancelling, you will get to 4 into 2, 8. 8 days we can complete the work. Option is given to us, second option. That's all. The 4th lesson, inverse and direct proportion, is definitely it will use for writing while you are writing the competitive exams. You should learn properly the inverse and direct proportion. It is very, very useful for writing the bank exams and all the competitive exams. So learn properly. We look at the next lesson, the 5th one, geometry. The 5th lesson given to us, geometry. Before you are learning this chapter, you must know what is line segment, what is parallel lines, what is intersecting lines, what is the angles, and what are the kinds of the angles we have. Because 6th standard itself already we learnt. Before you are learning this 7th standard geometry, transversal lines is given to us, linear pair of angles is given to us. So you must know the basic concepts. What is mean by line? A line has no end point. You know very well, a line has no end points. A line extends infinitely in both the direction. We can extend this line infinitely in both the direction. That is called a line. The second one is line segment. What is mean by line segment? A line segment has 2 end points. It is a part of a line or it is a small portion of a line. 2 ways also you can say. It is a part of a line or else it is a portion of a line. A line segment has 2 end points. Because the practical geometry, we are drawing more line segments. In the third one, ray. A ray has only 1 end point. We can say instead of starting point also, instead of end point, we can say starting point also. A ray has only 1 end point and we can extend without limit in one direction from the end point. That is called a ray. That third one is, fourth one is parallel lines and intersecting lines. Now you know what is a line. Just I am recalling the concept because already you learnt in 6th standard itself. The parallel lines, 2 lines in the same plane that do not intersect are called parallel lines. You know, you should remember always, the parallel lines never intersect at each other. That exact example is our railway track. The parallel lines example, exact example, just you imagine the railway track, that is a parallel line. Then next one is intersecting lines. When 2 lines have a common point, they are called intersecting lines and that is called, that point is called as a point of intersection. That point is called as a point of intersection. Here I am drawing 2 lines. The 2 lines are intersecting at a point O. That point is called as a point of intersection here. So now you know line segment, ray and the parallel lines and intersecting lines. And already you learned collinear points also, in that non-collinear points also. In the same line, if you have more points, that is called a collinear points, that the points are should lie on the line. That is called a collinear points. That points are maybe, they do not lie on the line. That is called a non-collinear points. That I didn't write here. Just you should remember that also. Now, angle. What is meant by an angle? An angle is made up of 2 rays. What is? The angle is made up of 2 rays. Here I am drawing one angle AOB. Here we have 2 rays. That angle is made up of these 2 rays. It has only one same end point. This end point is here called as a vertex and the 2 rays is forming an angle. The 2 rays is called as the arms of the angle. That also you must know. So what is mean by angle? An angle is made up of two rays that have a same end point. That end point is called as a vertex of the angle, and the forming two rays is called as the arms of the angle. Now we have different kinds of angle. Already you learned zero angle, then acute, then right, then obtuse, then straight, then reflex, then complete angle. I showed my hand also. Here we starting a zero angle. This is a acute angle. If keeping like this is a right angle. If you are moving like this is a obtuse angle. If you are keeping your hand in straight way, that is a straight angle. If you are moving like this, is a reflex angle. If you are going to that end, you will get the complete angle. So what is a zero angle? An angle whose measure is 0 degree is called a zero angle. An angle whose measure 0 degree is called a zero angle. Then acute angle, an angle whose measure is more than 0 degree and less than 90 degree. Simply you can say more than 0 degree than less than 90 degree. It will be a acute angle. Then right angle. An angle exactly that measure is 90 degree. It's called as a right angle. Exactly 90 degree is a right angle. This is a special angle. And then obtuse angle. An angle whose measure is more than 90 degree. You should underline the word more than 90 degree. Here also you should underline the word exactly 90 degree. Here also you should underline the word more than 0 degree and less than 90 degree. Then obtuse angle, an angle whose measure is more than 90 degree and less than 180 degree is called a obtuse angle. Here more than 90 degree, less than 180, simply we can write like this. Then next one is straight angle. Always you should keep your hand straight. It is a straight angle, that is a straight line also. So an angle whose measure is exactly 180 degree is called a straight angle. Exactly 180 degree is called a straight angle. The next one is reflex angle. An angle whose measure is more than 180 degree. Just I am recalling, more than 180 degree and less than 360 degree. What it is? Less than 360 degree is called a reflex angle. Is called a reflex angle. Then last one is complete angle. An angle whose measure is exactly 360 degree is called a complete angle. So we have 7 kinds of angle: zero angle, acute angle, right angle, then obtuse angle, then straight angle, reflex angle and complete angle. Whenever you are learning that angle, if you are learning like this in the same order, definitely you never forget. Before you are learning that vertically opposite angles and vertically opposite lines, you must know these properties. And one thing you should remember, what is meant by complementary angles. You know very well what is meant by complementary angles. An angle complementary angles. Two angles are complementary angles. Two angles are called complementary angles if their sum is 90 degree. If their sum is 90 degree. Now supplementary angles. Two angles are called supplementary if their sum is 180 degree. If two angles are supplementary angles, if their sum is 180 degree. If two angles are called complementary, their sum is definitely 90 degree. Just you note down. I will tell what is the transfer lines, what is the transfer vertically opposite angles also. Just you note down. You will take time to note down. Now we look at what is adjacent angles. I drew one angle here, AOB. How many angles are there? How many angles can you identify? Here we have one big angle AOB. Addition to that, we have two angles AOC than COB. So we have angle AOB, angle AOC, angle COB. So we have three angles. Three angles are there. We can identify three angles. And what is that common? You have how many vertices are there? We have only one vertex, that is O. We have only one vertex, that is O. We have three angles but only one vertex. How many arms are there? You can say OA also one arm, OC also one arm, OB also one arm. But which is a common arm? Only one common arm is there, that is OC. Only one common arm. You know, don't get confusion. We have three arms, but we have only one common arm for all these three angles. Though OC is the common arm. So now we can define two angles which have a common vertex and a common arm. Common vertex, only one vertex, and a common arm whose interior do not overlap are called adjacent angles. So here we can say AOC and COB are two adjacent angles. Can you understand now? Two angles which have a common arm, common vertex and a common arm whose interior do not overlap are called adjacent angles. So here AOC and COB are two adjacent angles. It has a vertex, common vertex O, it has a common arm C, and that angles are called as a adjacent angles. Now we look at a linear pair. Look at this diagram. How many adjacent angles are there? Now you know what is the adjacent angle. So here AOC and BOC are two adjacent angles. We have only one common arm, that is called OC. The adjacent angles that are supplementary, you know, now only I told the straight line is a straight angle. It is a 180 degree. What is meant by supplementary? Supplementary means 180 degree. The adjacent angles that are supplementary lead us to a pair of angles that lie on a straight line. These pair of angles are called linear pair of angles. Once again I am telling here, you know it has a common arm of two angles. The two angles is called as adjacent angles. Here the two adjacent angles lie on a straight line. These two adjacent angles lie on a straight line. It has a one common arm that lead us to a supplementary angle. You know what is a straight line? Straight angle is 180 degree. So the adjacent angles that are supplementary lead us to a pair of angles that lie on a straight line. These pair of angles are called linear pair of angles. Here what are the angles is linear pair? BOC and AOC are a linear pair of angles. Now addition to that has a one special property. Sum of all the angles formed at a point on a straight line is 180 degree. Here we formed only two angles, it's a straight line. These two angles sum is what? 180 degree. Suppose if one more line I am drawing here. Suppose if these many angles lie on a straight line, if you are adding these angles, that sum also is 180 degree. Now sum of the angles at a point, I am telling that one more special property also. Sum of the angles at a point is 360 degree. You know what is 360 degree? It is a complete angle. It is a complete angle. This is a complete angle. That circle angle also. If it is a point, that is a 360 degree. Sum of the angles at a point is 360 degree. Suppose if these many angles also is there, it's all the angles are meeting at a point O. This angle is 360 degree. Now finally vertically opposite angles. You know what is mean by intersecting lines? Two lines are intersecting at a one point. The two lines are called as the intersecting lines. Now I am drawing two lines. If two lines are intersecting, how many angles are formed? You know very well. Last year itself you learned 4 angles are formed. 4 angles are formed. When two lines intersect each other are two pair of non-adjacent angles. Now I used one word, non-adjacent angles. That's because if two lines are intersecting, is there any common arm? If common arm have two angles, that time only you can say these two angles are adjacent angles. That's why I am using the word non-adjacent angles. When two lines intersect each other, two pairs of non-adjacent angles formed are called vertically opposite angle. Vertically opposite angles. Here two lines are intersecting at a point O. Two lines I am mentioning A, B, C, D. How many angles are formed? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many angles are formed? 4 angles. When two lines are intersecting each other, two pairs of non-adjacent angles. Here it's a line, it's a common arm. These two are, you know, it's a linear pair of adjacent angles. That's why I use non-adjacent angles. These two are adjacent angles. You can't say these two are opposite angles because these two only non-adjacent angles. These two only non-adjacent angles. So the 2 and 4 are vertically opposite angles. Then 1 and 3 are vertically opposite angle. You can't say 1 and 2 are vertically opposite angles. 2 and 3 are vertically opposite angles and 3 and 4 are vertically opposite angles. You can say only these two are vertically opposite angles because these are non-adjacent angles. 2 and 4 are vertically opposite angles. 1 and 3 are vertically opposite angles. 1 and 3, then 2 and 4. This pair is vertically opposite angles. So, you know what is the adjacent angles, what is the linear pair of angles, what is the vertically opposite angles, non-adjacent angles also. Based on these properties, we look at the next session, the exercise number 5.1. Thank you, dear.